welcome to some body updates that you didn't ask for. So, for those of you that have been hanging out with me long enough, I did a little bit of a reboot around Christmas time. I had this entire thing mapped out so that way I could streamline and strategize what it is I wanted to change. I wanted to lose 5 pounds for the new year. So I was just adjusting some things. Last year was really tough with the last half of the year, and just my self-care went to shit. My mom was sick. I was moving, had a lot of like transitions going on in my life and my business. So, at that time, I don't know if you can see this, but this was my goal, 5 pounds down by December the 29th. Let me turn off my music here. And at that time on December 25th, I was 162.4 pounds. So I wrote down my strategy. Like, here's what I'm going to do, because I had gotten, a little lackadaisical with my food. Again, no excuses, but my mom was in the hospital. I was all over the place. Like, meal timing and all that was like not a priority. It's just like, I talk about all the time on the podcast. There's different chapters of your life. So with that, I decided, like, what can I manage that is easy and is not going to make me feel super deprived? Because that's where I'm at right now in my journey, is if I'm doing anything for my body goals, it cannot trigger me to feel like I am starving, I'm deprived, or as giving me any kind of FOMO. So I'm finding that balance, and it's coming by way of intuitive eating and being incredibly mindful at point of. And side note, little random discovery, I found out just a couple months ago that I have leaky gut, and I've been working on that. And I also think that that is huge in contributing to the fact that I feel so much better now. So anyhow, this was my drop 5 pounds plan. It was really just a matter of like cutting out some things that I got a little too close to and I was having too much fun with, right? Which was like, I was eating a lot of cheese, a lot of fried foods. We would go to Crumble and order like 4 cookies between my boyfriend and I. We'd chop them all up and I'd be nibbling on those, and it would, I don't really have the desire like I used to for sweets. I still have it, but it's not as bad. So it would be like, we'd cut them all up, we'd snack on them. I'd probably have like 1.5. And then the next morning they'd be there and I'd have them with coffee. Like, does anyone else relate to that? Also, I have not had a wax in a really long time because I can't find somebody good in this area. So don't pay attention down there. And then I started doing some other things, right? Like switching my creamer to almond milk, which I'd gotten a little over pouring with my creamer. It's just little things like that creep up really, really fast and got me up to almost 163 pounds. And there's nothing wrong with that number. I just didn't feel good at that weight. I didn't feel light. I didn't feel agile. I've loved my body through this whole process in terms of like, I have like, I love the booty. If I have a little bit of a rolls, it's okay. I'm a woman. It's normal. I'm not trying to get on stage tomorrow. Okay. Or at all for that matter. So that was a big thing, was no cookies, no fried foods, no cheeses, and also no creamy sauces, no sugar-free foods. So I really cut back a lot, but I went a little more hardcore here because I was on a very short time frame, right? So I was trying to drop 5 pounds before New Year's Eve because I was going to be scantily clad at an adult party. So I went a little bit more hardcore than usual, but I'm going to say I didn't adhere to this 100%, right? I probably still had some sugar-free foods in there, but I cut back drastically. I was doing no alcohol, so I did do that for that whole week, which, okay, 5 days, big deal. And got to bed early. I decided I wasn't going to do macros or calories because, again, that's a trigger for me. So you have to know yourself, and I knew if I tried to adhere to any one of those, and this is good morning here, that it would be too much for my brain. My brain would like short circuit. So I decided to eat intuitively with prioritizing protein and carbs around activity. So around my training, if I have a really active day, I'll eat a little bit more, but it's very intuitive. And it's like, I ask myself every time, am I really hungry? Or am I just wanting this because I'm bored, emotional, it's there and it's tempting me? Like, what is it? I have to like ask the project manager, excuse me, ma'am, what's happening? Okay. Some things that I set in place for my cardio was I was going to do 40 minutes of a combo of either stairs or treadmill. I'm going to tell you right now, that did not happen 100%. I probably did half of that. My steps were the one thing that I did adhere to 100%. I did do a 10,000 per day sort of push because at that time I was getting like 3,000 steps or whatever, something awful. And my weight training, nothing changed. Okay. Nothing changed in terms of the exercises I was doing. I didn't all of a sudden do like 20 reps of things and try to make my weight training workout a cardio workout. And I think that's a big spot that a lot of women fail is they're like, well, I'm trying to lose fat, so let me just do more reps because it makes my heart rate faster and it's like burns more calories. We hear that a lot. Don't do that, okay? Let your weight training be your weight training. It's gonna build, it's gonna build, it's gonna build, it's gonna create shape. Let your diet be the thing that dictates your fat loss, okay? And that is the hardest part. And that is what I'm gonna be harping on you guys for the next 12 weeks. And also reminding myself of some habits that I slipped away from a little bit, but not necessarily because I'm trying to drop a ton of weight, but just kind of clean up and feel better overall. Some Sanity Foods that I decided to roll into the sort of rotation at that time that pretty much still stays standard for me and it keeps me on track and I don't feel deprived are things like a rice cake with peanut butter and jelly. If I have chocolate chips, I'll toss them on there. Popcorn is another one, Greek yogurt, and a topping or two, protein bars, Yasso bars. So if you like ice cream, they have these things called Yasso bars. Really good. And they actually are, I believe they're Greek yogurt bars. So they have protein in them as well. And then the little mini flavored rice cakes, as well as single square Ghirardelli chocolates. Okay. So those were the things that I started to bleed in and get back to. And they're still staples right now in my sort of where I'm at right now. So this was December 25th. Okay. We are at April 12th. Okay. I don't know if you can see that. April 12th. So that was December. So we have January, February, March, April. So about 3.5 months. And I have lost 10 pounds. Okay. Now, the huge contributors to 10 pounds since this day, because I'm 152.6 this morning. Yes, I will take a picture of that actually, because I've been up for about 3 hours, but all I've had is coffee and water. So it's pretty true. It's pretty accurate. The things that have remained intact since then that I have continued for the most part is getting my steps up. So there have been days where I have not hit 10K, but most of the time I'm getting between 8 and 10. I've really ramped it up now that it's nicer outside. So it's like 10K at a minimum now for the last like probably couple weeks. That is something I've kept in, and I have not been doing that much cardio. Anytime I do cardio, I will post it usually on Instagram, like a picture of me on the stair mill or an incline treadmill or something like that. So if you don't see me posting it, I'm probably not doing it. I am doing most of the managing of how my physique looks through steps and doing more like zone 2 cardio, which will just be like a very brisk walk while I'm walking around my neighborhood, or I will get on the treadmill and just do a flat walk or an incline of like 5, nothing too crazy. But I'm in the zone 2 cardio. I'm not doing like any kind of like crazy classes or anything like that. Some of my training, I've played around with some like agility stuff and plyometrics, but that is not what's responsible for my 10-pound weight loss. Okay. It has been the diet piece of things. So with that, the diet piece of things is sticking to this has helped. No cheese. I have bought 0 cheese since December, to my recollection, okay? So I cut cheese out completely. And I know I tell you guys not to cut out food groups, but I know for myself personally that cheese doesn't really offer me a ton of nutritional value. Yes, it's got a lot of delicious value, but I can do without. It's just a nice thing to have. So what I've been doing is I don't do cheese at home, but if I go out to a restaurant and there's something that has like a goat cheese or something that sounds really delicious or gourmet and has cheese like pizza or whatever, I will partake outside of the home. I just won't bring it in the house and use it at home. And then usually because I've desensitized like my taste buds to having it all the time, when I do have it, it feels very rich, very decadent, and it's like a little goes a long way, and I just really enjoy it, and I don't feel the need to have it every day, okay? No fried foods. I've cut that back significantly. We were doing like a ton of French fries, a ton of chicken strips anytime we'd go to dinner because I was dealing with some gut issues, and strangely enough, when I would have like chicken or grilled chicken or chicken strips and French fries, I'd be fine. No tummy issues. So I did that for a long time, like a child who goes through a phase where they just want to eat the same foods. I did that for months. So I stopped doing that. I stopped eating a ton of fried foods. I will still have fries, usually 1 time a week. Something that is not good for me, I will usually have 1, 2, 3 times per week, but I work it in, okay? So cookies, we have a new crumble cookie rule in the house, which is we buy 2 cookies, not 4. So you got to pick your favorite crumble, and then we have the little crumble slicer, and I chop it, and we share 2 cookies, and that's it, finito. All right. Kept with the almond milk versus creamer. I'm going to go back to creamer, y'all. I'm just going to let you know, but I'm in an almond milk phase right now, and I'm going to have to like gradually work back into a creamer phase where I'm like behaving with how much I'm using. It's not going to be like creamer with a side of coffee. You know, those of you that know, you know. And then I really cut back on sugar-free foods. I have a few things here and there. Usually it will be like a diet soda, and that's really it, honestly. I'm not doing like sugar-free much of anything. If maybe I make some pancakes, I might have some sugar-free syrup, but that stuff is very far and few between. And then no creamy sauces, which I've never really been a fan of too much anyways, so I just dropped all that back. So this has remained. I got back to eating every 3 to 4 hours, and making sure I'm prioritizing protein. I just kind of got back in a rhythm with eating regularly. So at nighttime, I wasn't feeling ravenous and then just kind of eating a bunch of random stuff, because sometimes I would do that, just like snacking a bunch of stuff. And that's really it. I have not really done a ton of intentional machine cardio, other than with the glute challenge girls. I did a little bit last week. I've just been walking. My training, I've been managing about 3 times per week on an average. The glute challenge week, I went every single day, which was great because I wanted to like be in the gym and do my cardio there and things of that nature. But 3 days, 4 days is like a great week for me right now at this point for weight training. And then supplement wise, I haven't really changed anything. I have just like a base there, but I don't do fat burners. I don't believe in that in a lifestyle setting. It's like unnecessary. And I think until you have your diet under control, you shouldn't be adding that kind of stuff in, quite frankly. But just my basics for health, like my omegas, my vitamins, my creatine. I'm taking religiously glutamine. I do a reds and greens powder, and collagen, which let me just tell you has been making my hair and my nails grow absolutely bananas. So All of those things have remained the same. Okay, this is 10 pounds down. I'm not sucking it in. Okay, you guys ready for the back view? I did get a pellet, a testosterone pellet put in for the first time. You guys can kind of see it there. Because I do hormone replacement therapy. I've been doing it for 100 years, what feels like probably since 2017, 18, I don't know. I'm just tired of doing the shots. I forget, and then I feel like crap for like a week, and I can totally tell. So I'm like, let's just do a pellet and cut to the chase. Now, the caveat with these is you can't train for a week because this has got to like set and heal. So I'm struggling a little bit right now. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so this is where we're at. Okay, booty, and these are not my favorite bottoms. Okay, I can't find my other ones. Okay, so let's just be real with it. This is the back, and we have the pellet there, so you might see a little bit of bruising. Side, front. Okay, my goals for this round of the Goddess Body Project with you guys in the Sexy Summer Edition is really just to honestly maintain this because I'm happy with it. My glutes feel soggy right now because I haven't trained in 6 days. So, well, actually I trained the day before I got the pellet in, which was a Friday because I got my pellet in on a Saturday. So it's been 7 days. It's been a whole week since I've trained with weights. And so my glutes don't feel very voluminous right now, which makes me a little bit sad, but it'll be back because I'm going to start training tomorrow. They said I just needed a week. I'm going to go light tomorrow, but nonetheless, I'm 152 pounds right now. I am not going for a scale goal per se with the Goddess Body Project this round. I'm going to be doing a topless photo shoot for my 46th birthday, which is in June. So I'll probably do that towards the end of June because we have a lot going on. And honestly, if I can maintain this, if I can just maybe tighten my midsection up a little bit, get my glutes popping a little bit more, get a tan, I'll feel great. So my goals for this 12 weeks is to share as much as I can when it comes to what I do on the daily that I think I take for granted because it's just automatic at this point. It's like habits and part of my lifestyle. So I want to be as open and transparent in sharing that with you guys. So even when I go out to restaurants or dining or things like that, it's going to keep me on the hook to actually be a person of my word and actually share with you the strategies that I'm teaching you is what I use. So being a lot more prolific with that. My other goals are to continue with my steps staying over 10K. Now, I'm not going to kill myself over it. I'm not going to march around the house if I don't hit it, but I am going to be more intentional with getting up and walking. So that is going to be a huge piece of it, is to walk 30 minutes at minimum every day. So that is a very smart and detailed goal. 152 feels really good right now. 153, somewhere in that range for me, feels good in my body in terms of how much energy I have, how much like spryness I have, like how much, how high I can ninja kick, like shit like that like affects my day to day. Feels good. So staying here and keeping things relative is the name of the game for me. The other thing that is super important for me is to make sure that through this process that I do not feel incredibly deprived or craving anything and telling myself I can't have it or feeling bingy or anything like that. So being very mindful, getting ahead of it, and putting in some fail safes in place for myself as I go through this process with you guys to make sure that I don't get shiny object syndrome and decide I want to like drop to 145 pounds. Like if that happens by way of me being more mindful and making better choices and things, and my body naturally falls into that, great. But I'm not going to grind and push and, eat 1,100 calories or anything like that has absolutely this much appeal to me anymore. Being strong, feeling good, feeling energized, and feeling good in a bathing suit, feeling good naked, all those things, that's important. So This was long-winded. Just wanted to give you an update. Boop, 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 boop. This is the real body. This is the real time. And this is where we're at. So we're doing this together. You got this. Take your progress pictures. This was me taking my progress pictures and decided to just give you guys a little tutorial of all the things, but it's a journey. It's a project. I am the project manager of what happens with the outcome. You are the project manager of what happens with your outcome. So you have way more control than you think. It is a lot of a mindset game for most of us than it is an actual implementation, following the rules kind of game. It is surpassing the blocks in your brain to actually execute and follow through with implementing. All right. Let me know what you think.